Welcome back to the Spruce Stomper YouTube channel. Coming at you today with a few comments and tips about concrete slab preparation. Might save you a bit of trouble at your own home base if you happen to strike up a project. All right, so tip number one. The better your prep underneath the concrete, the better the outcome for the concrete. Now, when I refer to prep, I mean what's underneath the concrete, the gravel preparation underneath this brand new beautiful slab that you're about to pour. Now, I should mention, this beautiful patio is actually at the Spruce Stomper headquarters. Lucky us, it's only been on the books for about 6 years and I'm finally getting it done. Now, in this case, I'm a big fan of this material. Uh-oh, who's that up there? I'm a big fan of this material right here, Road Crush. It's beautiful. It packs, look at this. It packs like concrete. So I mean, you're almost halfway there just with the gravel. It's easy to level, it is easy to set all your heights, and it packs. You wet this baby down with a garden hose and that Road Crush packs rock solid. You have a foundation for your foundation. So tip number one, don't skimp on the prep. Don't be pouring over top of mud and dirt, and certainly don't be just, you know, pouring a concrete slab over top of your lawn or something like that. Do the prep, get the gravel going, get compaction. That's the proper way. All right, item number two on my list, rebar. Don't let anybody tell you you don't need rebar. You need it. Rebar, look at this. Can't you see that we're trying to provide serious production value to our fans out there? Poodle life. Rebar is necessary in any concrete that you pour. Do me a favor, put steel in it. This is only a patio, so we got 10 mil bar. We've got a 2 foot on center grid pattern. Rebar, a common misconception is that rebar is for cracking. Rebar is not for cracking. That's the only guarantee in concrete. I guarantee you it will crack. It provides strength and tension to the slab. So where you want your rebar is on the tension side of said concrete, and in our case that would be in the bottom third. So if you're pouring a slab or a patio or a sidewalk or whatever, the steel you put in roughly should be in the bottom third to a half, depending on how thin you're getting of the concrete. And to do that, you need to have something supporting it. In our case, I've just smashed up a cinder block. That could just stay in the concrete, goes right underneath that like that. Because when you pour, people are gonna do this. Oh, everybody's gonna do that, and it's gonna drive you crazy. They're gonna stomp all over everything because they're wearing giant clobby gum boots and they're stomping all over your hard work. So you have to put support under it to keep you where it needs to be. They do sell plastic rebar chairs. I will caution you with the heavier bar, like 5/8 bar, if you're doing big shop floors and stuff like we're gonna be doing later this week. The plastic punches out, so you know, 250-pound concrete guy with his gigantic Dunlop rubber boots stomping around in there, he is going to flatten all of those rebar chairs and you will be very disappointed. So rocks, brick, those are all good options. And for God's sakes, if you hire somebody to do the concrete work for you, do not get tricked into believing that they will pull the rebar up as they go. Some guys will try and sell you that, oh, we leave the rebar laying flat and we pull it up as we go. You know, they got like a hook or a shovel and they pull the, they don't. They do not, and it does not work. The mat of rebar is too heavy and it does not get put in the proper location if it's pulled up. It just means that they don't want to walk on it, they don't want to deal with it, and there's no way for you to tell because at the end of the day, it's buried. So, all right, so now you got your prep, you've packed, you've got your beautiful gravel, you've got your bar in. Now you put up the forms. Well, you can put up the forms first, but I didn't in this case. The only thing I have to say about the forms, pretty self-explanatory. You're looking for straight lines. You're looking for them to be at the right height. But this right here is what I want to show you. And that, my friends, is, well, search and rescue helicopter. All right, so while it doesn't look like much, this stake is something that you can do to save yourself a lot of hassle and a lot of time, especially if you're paying someone to do this concrete work. This stake has been cut off flush with the top of the form. Nothing sticking above. So this is the proper height, and that stake is at the same height as the form. Why this is important? Because to get this concrete leveled out on a narrow width, this is only 14 feet. They're just gonna use a board to screed it flat to start before the finishing starts to happen as the concrete sets up. You cannot run a board in this fashion. You get to this, oh no, the stake's in the way. And then they gotta go around. It's just a straight shot. It's just a straight shot. There is nothing impeding this form, doop, 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 all the way along. You're in the clear, you're good to go. So if you're using steel stakes, if you can, use the right length ones, pound them in so they're just below the top of the form. If I keep doing this, it's I'm trying to hold indigestion in, you know? Heavy duty lunch, had a beer after work. Punch those down, and if they're wooden stakes, cut them off so they're not in your way. And it's much safer that way too. You got nothing pointy sticking up, looking to get you if you trip and fall. Here's another spot I see a lot of concern and fretting about from folks when they're doing concrete. Here's the form board, here's the top, here's the bottom. Uh-oh, oh no, there's a hole there. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? There's a hole, I'll lose my concrete. The concrete will come out the bottom. No, it will not. It will not. We're not pouring chicken noodle soup in these forms. It's concrete, it's pretty dang thick. There's no need to be running around with a shovel, shoveling a whole ton of dirt, packing it around the edges of the form. I learned this the hard way. I'm gonna be honest with you, I used to do that. I used to do that because I didn't want to lose an ounce of concrete. When you get in a production mode, the little bit that's gonna dribble out underneath that form before it kind of self-seals is not a big deal. So, you know, if you got a few inches of the form up above, don't fret. Don't fret. It'll plug itself and you're good to go. All right, well, we're getting close to the end of the tips that I can share with you because, you know, guy runs out of knowledge eventually. You may have noticed as we're talking, what in the heck is there this white foam and masking tape wrapped around these pillars for? Any guesses? This would be the time that whether you have a guess or not, you'd head into the comment section and, you know, engage with the video a smidgen. All right, so this foam and tape provides a very important function. There's no guarantees, especially here in the north, that this patio slab isn't gonna move a little bit. There's water in the ground, it freezes in the wintertime, frost heaves, no two ways around it. These pillars are 8 feet deep with a 36-inch by 36-inch pad on the bottom. How do I know that? Because I installed these myself, because I built this house. I don't want this patio slab touching or joining this pillar whatsoever. I want everything free and independent of each other. So the foam gets wrapped around the post, the concrete gets poured up to the foam, and then before it's completely cured, we just take this and we just rip it right off. So that foam will just pull out from around that post, and what you'll end up with is like a nice 1/8 to 1/4 inch gap all the way around the new concrete and the old concrete pillar, so everything is independent of each other. So if you got pipe penetrations, we're doing the same thing. I do not want that concrete to grip onto the ridges of that fitting so it has any ability to move it, and I have a form board between the house and the new concrete. So we're gonna have an 1.5 inch gap that's just gonna be filled with gravel. Not only does that provide some drainage if it's needed, but it's not touching the house. This slab can have its own party out here doing whatever it wants to do, and it will not affect the house. It will not affect these pillars. It's certainly not going to affect Rodeo here because, well, he's about as dumb as they come, isn't it, buddy? Oh yeah, and while in the new development, he's going deaf. Rodeo, can you hear me? Dog, hey, you. Oh boy, we love you. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you, I don't know, learned something or have saw something that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing. And then again, in the comments, you can tell me about it. Prep, right? Proper prep underneath is key. Pack, make sure you compact whatever you're pouring concrete on. Set your form boards. Cut the stakes off flush so they don't get in your way. Saves a lot of trouble, a lot of headache. Make sure that the rebar is set up so it's actually in the slab and not sitting in the dirt. And make sure that new concrete you're pouring, make sure that it's not going to grab onto the existing structure and do something funky that you don't want it to do. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Oh, and a last bonus tip. From this side of my form to this side of my form, there's an inch of drop. Slope is your friend. Slope is your friend. Because remember, water runs downhill, and that's important.